So Diablo 4, what a game. So far I've heard from a lot of places that this game is actually tailored to me because I'm a casual gamer, very casual. I don't even have a webcam. So nonetheless, I thought I wanted to give my take on what I think is wrong with this game and see if anyone agrees. Um, so probably a lot of you, like me, has been waiting with anticipation for this game for a long time. I even bought the most expensive version of the game where I can actually access the game earlier. Uh, Actually, it turns out I haven't played that much. I didn't even play throughout those first days. I have been getting a little more into the game, but I'm just not feeling it. So I was wondering if my expectations were too high, or um, it's yeah, I don't know. But definitely, what completely baffles me is that Blizzard keeps making the same mistakes over and over. It feels like sometimes they're tone deaf. There's so many pro players out there that are actually giving substantial amount of input that could actually make the game so much better. Not just good input, they also actually tell them what not to do. So yeah, so as I said, this game has issues. My issues and my far biggest issue so far is that I actually like watching streamers play and watching their reviews more than actually playing it myself. And to me, that's a big issue. I do, however, love the graphics and the sound in the game. Big shout out to the devs for that part of the game. I think that's really good. Um, I somewhat like the campaign as well. I had hoped for more story regarding the war between heaven and hell, and I actually hope for the feeling that something huge was about to happen between heaven and hell, and maybe Sanctuary would be battleground. But I honestly never really got that feeling. Now, one of the main storylines is Inarius. Um, to me, he didn't feel like an immortal angel at all. He sort of felt like a spoiled kid that didn't get his cookies and milk. Some angel, huh? Well, for Lilith, I think she's pretty cool, and I somewhat hope that she didn't die, but more in the lines of her brewing up something huge to take on the heavens and throw some fuel on the fire of the internal conflict. So Lilith kills Inarius, and you kill Lilith, and that's sort of the end of it so far. It's a pretty basic narrative to me, and I had hoped for more. We'll see what's going to come. So for the stats in the game, these altars of Lilith, yeah, that it doesn't make sense to me at all. So you, instead of getting your stat points, you can put into whatever stat you want to. You are now sort of forced by Blizzard to getting the stats that the altars provide you. There's no choice. It just feels like a chore, to be honest, to go around and find them. So I sort of kind of wanted to decide for myself where I want to put those stats points. But then at the end, it doesn't really matter because stats don't feel like they have an impact anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Um, in general, my problem with the game so far is also that I just don't get the feeling that it's my character. I sort of feel like too many decisions are already made. Um, Sort of like Diablo 3, where you have to go to the end game, find your set items, and then yeah, it's just upgrading Paragon from that on. In Diablo 4, it's just getting better gear, and that's it to beat Uberlils, I guess. I haven't been there at all, so I don't know, but I'm also a casual gamer, so um, and so yeah, I don't feel like you can fuck up your character in this game because so many choices have been made by Blizzard already. So then there's the whole level scaling. So I have a level 62 and a level 42. So I don't know how many hours that is. 15 hours, 20, I don't know. Um, but I sort of feel like um, no matter where I go in Diablo 4, I just don't feel like I'm getting more powerful. It's just the same no matter what. Actually, when you level up, you feel a little more weak until you get a little better gear. And so this sense of progression is just, I just, I don't feel it. It's not like if the first time you went into Tristful Glades in World of Warcraft and was just roaming around, fucking about, didn't know what I was doing, and by mistake I went to the Eastern Plaguelands and I got spit on by a spider and insta killed. I remember the feeling I got back then was that, yeah, well, okay, don't worry, I'll get there at some point when I'm stronger and higher level. In Diablo 4, it doesn't matter where you go. It seems like it's this big world. It has no importance. Like it's just, I don't know. All the dungeons could have just been like in Diablo 3, where you have the pillar you click on and then just choose your dungeon. It's just I don't feel immersed in this world. Um, and at no point can you go back into zones to feel like super powerful. It just it's the scaling just doesn't make you feel your character. I don't know how else to explain it. Well, but don't get me wrong, the game is not hard at all. It's actually quite easy. But it's the feeling of being more powerful as you level up and progress in the game that is just, it's not there. So no matter where I go and no matter what I do, except for the PvP areas, I feel the same. There's no difference. It's not when you level up, it doesn't actually, you don't feel like you level up, to be honest. So the sense of progression to me is hidden behind certain aspects and not my character level and the way I want to build my character. And once you have the aspect that you're actually looking for, and I would call that set bonus, there's not left there's not nothing left to do except for to improve numbers. It's like just going to dungeons. That's what I mean by it's sort of feels like Blizzard already decided how I should play this game, and I just don't like that at all. I really did hope that they didn't put in set items, which they did in the aspects, but yeah, I guess they're just running out of ideas. But at least there's no infinite Paragon system yet, I guess, like there was in Diablo 3, um, which was actually one of my biggest concerns. So to begin with, when I saw the development updates and intros and videos, I was kind of stoked about the whole mounts and the big world and all that. I thought that was pretty cool. But now I've played the game for some hours and it just feels more like a pain in the ass to use mounts, getting stuck on corners, dismount to get over a cliff and then have a timer to be able to mount again. To me, mounts feel more like a way to bypass the game than actually travel in the map. So I I actually I just prefer if you can just port to dungeons, no matter if it's, I can't even remember what they're called, the harder dungeons on World Tier 3, but yeah. As for items, for a casual gamer like me, what I really like about, for example, Diablo 2 and all, is this insane luck that you can have by finding something incredibly rare. And my dream in Diablo 2 was always to find Tyrell's Might someday, and I knew that was not ever going to happen. I didn't play enough for that, but the chance was still there. In Diablo 4 so far, it feels like I don't even care about reading the numbers. I only read the big fat green number that Blizzard put there to make it easy for me. So basically, Blizzard again decided for me what to actually look at. And yeah, if you want to go into details, of course you have to look, but I play maybe an hour every evening. I don't want to go through, spend half my time looking at numbers. So I just go by the green number and my aspects, and that's it. So, and I don't even care about the numbers. There's so many different useless numbers that I just don't care. If it doesn't have crit chance, life, or vulnerable damage, I just sell it. I don't care about it. And that's not how it's supposed to be, in my opinion. Games like this is about items. Then there's the aspects. What baffles me is that I don't understand why the hell they're not in the skill tree. Why are they on items? Like it's an effect of a skill to boost the skill that should be in the skill tree. Uh, Maybe it's just me, but I don't get why you have to farm for a specific one. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, basically it's a skill effect that they just hide behind dungeons and legendary aspects. And to me that sounds like a weird system, but I guess it's simple. I would just prefer to make the skill tree more interesting by putting all the aspects in there, and then maybe have some more build diversity. I don't know. But again, it feels like Blizzard decides everything in this game, and that sort of removes the incentive for me to play. So, and it also makes me feel like I'm actually just boring my character and just clicking on buttons that was, already pre-designed to be clicked somehow. And then there's something, I don't know if it's just me, but it pisses the shit out of me. Is these absolutely ridiculous numbers that we're already seeing in this game. Like, what the hell is that about? I hated D3 for their inflating damage numbers in the trillions. I mean, do they really think that the bigger number is the better? If a huge damage number was like 5,000, that was a massive damage point, then I could actually relate to it. I don't get why they're so obsessed with these huge numbers. So again, it's because I want to relate to my character, to my character's power, my items, my build. But millions and billions and trillions, come on, man. What I think they should do is get the goddamn shareholders out of the room so the devs have time to work. It seems like they're obsessed with the millions and billions, not the players. So basically, with the numbers, I can't relate to it at all. Like trillions, come on, what does that even mean, man? Uh, yeah, okay, never mind. Well, the same is for gold. Millions, billions. Why? I just don't get why. 100 gold, in my opinion, should be a shitload of money. Maybe even put silver and copper back into the game or in the game, so you could actually get the feeling that you found gold and it has substantial value. But no, it has to be trillions and millions and billions. It just annoys the shit out of me. And then there's another thing about the game. I do love the graphics, the sound effects, and all that, but I I have a problem with the zoom level. So if you're a big fat druid, you're kind of like 10% of the whole screen. Why can't we just zoom out a little bit more? I'm not saying too much. It shouldn't be so that, well, I guess there's some part of it that computers cannot handle it. I don't know. I just don't know why it's up so close. Maybe like Diablo 2 would be better. So, yeah, one of my biggest concerns about this game, and the reason why I might not feel that it's gonna change and get better, is that it feels to me like Blizzard is a company that's completely run out of ideas. You know, to me, this game is a total testament to that. I sort of keep getting the feeling every time I play that this is just old wine on new bottles. That's the feeling I get. There's not there's nothing new in it, to be honest. So, yeah, the world, Sanctuary. I had big hopes for that. So sort of felt like you got the MMO aspect of it, but to me it's again just an annoying thing you have to move around in. They actually made a big deal out of telling a story about this huge world where you can travel around on your horse, and yeah, I'm just not feeling it at all. And also because of the level scaling, it's you can just put on your horse, get on your horse and just ride in. It doesn't, there's no danger. There's not really. So yeah, again, they could just have a pillar like in Diablo 3. You click on it and go to a dungeon. So yeah, again, to me, the world just feels like an obstacle I have to bypass to get to a dungeon where you actually anyway have a loading screen. So the immersion is not there. You have to load into the dungeon anyway. So to me, it actually reminds me a little bit about Wolcen, Lords of Mayhem. They made a huge world in the campaign with maps and waypoints and all that. So you could feel immersed in this big world. And as soon as you hit endgame, the world just doesn't matter anymore. Well, in Wolcen it's not even there anymore, but in Diablo it's there. But I just can't see the point of this huge world when whatever you do is just travel to a dungeon or travel to a stronghold or something, and it just feels, to be honest, fucking annoying to have to go on your horse and get stuck on corners. And yeah, I don't feel like I'm a part of a world. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Now, one thing I do like about the open world thing is strongholds. Um, Once you complete them, they're sort of out of the game, but that sort of gave this big world some sort of purpose, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me, but I actually like the strongholds, but you can only do them once, and so then you're back to dungeons, loading screens like in Diablo 3, like yeah. So I guess to sum it all up, to not make a huge long video, it's just I'm a very casual gamer, and this is just some of the things that I'm sort of. I tried to log in, but I'm just not feeling this game at all. I like the graphics, I like the sound, I think they made a beautiful job. I also like the combat, but I just. When I play games, I need to have a purpose, and I am not feeling it at all in this game. Not at all. So maybe that's something that could change. Anyway, that's just a casual gamer's take on it so far and what I feel about it. You can take it as you want, but yeah. Thanks for now. Bye.